Hi, welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Adeola. Thank you so much for joining us on this Money Talk series. And today we have a wonderful guest. That is Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. He is a best-selling author. He has written so many books about wealth creation. I'm really excited about all that he will be talking about today. He's a mentor, he's a coach, and you can actually have him as a coach if you can afford him. He believes so much in raising the next generation and impacting them with the knowledge that he has acquired over the years. He's also a pastor, so yes, he's not just coming from the physical view, but also spiritual view. And so I am so happy and so excited to welcome my guest today, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. Hello, sir. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I'm excited to be with you again today.
Wonderful. So today we're talking about wealth creation. And I just want to say if you're watching us from wherever you're watching us from, there would be time for you to join us in the studio. And I'm hoping that we can do that early so that you guys can ask him as many questions as you want. But of course, we would like to hear from him first. We would like for him to speak to us from his wealth of knowledge. And so, a lot of people will tell you that they're tired of the rat race. And so, my very first question, Dr. Olumide, is I want to be rich, I want to have money, I want to be wealthy. But the money I'm making right now is not even enough to pay my bills. So I can't even save, not to talk about now investing. What do you have to say about that?
Well, thank you very much for that question. One of the things I've come to realize is that a lot of people are doing everything they can to try to make money and to try to work to get an income, but not many people are giving the same level of attention and commitment to learning about money. You need to understand that the more you learn, the more you earn. Your learning capacity determines your earning capacity. So when you spend time to learn more about money, you will understand that there are principles that governs the creation of wealth. Wealth is created. Wealth is not automatic. Someone has to take the responsibility for the creation of wealth. And wealth creation also takes time. It takes time to create wealth. Wealth creation also goes through a process. And then there are ingredients for wealth creation. There are principles. There are laws that govern wealth creation. So no matter who you are, no matter where you are, once you understand the laws and the principles that governs wealth creation, and you apply those laws and those principles, they will work for you as long as you are willing to be patient, to walk through it and go through the process. Anything meaningful that will last must go through a process. The challenge is number one, people don't know that there are laws and principles. Then those who know do not practice the laws and principles. They are waiting for one supernatural move to happen. And then those who practice it are not patient enough to go through the process to the formation of the wealth that they are looking for. So it's like a woman trying to give birth to a child in 3 months or 6 months. You have to go through the gestation period. And everyone also has a gestation period that they go through. So no matter who you are, once you understand the principles and you apply it, it will help you. You know, I just came back from the States. I did a 6 city tour. I was in Houston, I was in Dallas, I was in Ohio, I was in Detroit, I was in New York, I was in Atlanta. And one of the things I did as I went on the School of Money tour all over the US was to talk to people about understanding your economic environment. You see, the challenge with many people in the Western world, especially those of you in the US, is you don't understand your economic environment, especially for people within our community that are immigrants. Because when you are coming from Africa, you're coming from Asia, you're coming from the Caribbean, and then you come into the Western world and you come into the United States, anywhere you find yourself, the first thing you need to do is to understand your economic environment. America is a capitalist economy. You are in a capitalist economy, and according to the capitalist environment, the law of capitalism has been programmed in such a way you can never become wealthy by earning salaries. You can't become wealthy by earning salary in a capitalist system. But many people don't understand. That's why I get into the US and I say, oh, I'm doing two, three, four jobs. I've got to pay bills. I've got to go pay bills. Hello, something is wrong with your system. Because no matter the jobs you do, you will forever be in the rat race, because the capitalist environment is structured in such a way that salary earners can never be wealthy depending on salaries alone. That's the way it's structured. So the more work you do, the system is structured in such a way that every money you make will go back into the system through taxes, through bills, and through all those stuff. So what I would tell anyone listening to me right now is, if you want to become wealthy, understand that there are laws and principles that make you to become wealthy. Be committed to applying those laws and those principles, and be patient to see them work. All this get rich quick scheme, all this I want to blow, I want to make it now, all this I'm just believing God, God will just bless me, I want to anoint you for prosperity, you're just looking for an easy way out. All those things will cause you to end up in frustration. But once you know what you need to do, then there are just three simple steps that may take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Number one, financial intelligence. Do everything you can to continue to learn about money, how to make it, how to manage it, how to multiply it, all the laws and the principles. And the more you learn, the more you earn. You keep learning. You don't stop learning. Number two, financial planning. Sit down, develop a plan on how you are going to move from your present financial position to your desired financial destination. And then number three, financial discipline. Financial intelligence, financial planning, financial discipline. And as you stick at it, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, depending on a lot of factors, you will arrive at the wealthy place. It's not an impossible thing.
The main thing I got from everything you said, sir, is that there are laws
Yeah,
to having money.
yeah,
Almost as if there's like instructions that must be followed.
yeah, yeah,
So what are those instructions, and are they things that regular people can? And then you talk about, you said you can't just expect to just blow, and that
yeah,
people have to be patient.
yeah.
So does this apply to everybody or just some people?
Now, you see, principles makes life predictable, and principles are universal. Wherever you are in the world, the law of gravity is the same in US, in Australia, in Nigeria. The law of self-preservation is the same. So principles are universal. But listen to what I'm about to say now. Even though principles are universal, the application of those principles are personal, contextual, and geographical. Personal in the sense that we may all be listening to the same thing, but in applying that principle, I have to look at my personal life, my personality, where I am as a person. For instance, now, if someone is listening to me right now and you are 17 years old, or someone is listening, you are 27, or someone is listening, you are 47, or someone is listening, you are 67, even though you are listening to the same information, the way a 17-year-old will apply it will be different from the way a 47-year-old will apply it. Because the 17-year-old guy is probably single and unmarried without too much responsibility, while the 47-year-old man is probably married with children and lots of responsibility. So even though the principles are universal, the application is personal. Number two, the application is contextual. You have to look at your context. So you might be listening to me right now and you are 27, but even though you are 27, you have parents that are alive and they are working, and you are living in your parents' house and you are not paying any rent and you're not paying any bills, but you are working and saving all your income. That's your context. But somebody else is probably listening to me right now. She's also 27, but she doesn't have father, she doesn't have mother, or she has father and mother that are even depending on her. So even though she's hearing and listening to the same principle, our context is different. So the interpretation of that principle is personal, contextual. If you are listening to me right now, you've just been diagnosed of cancer yesterday, and you are listening to me today, you are different from somebody that is ill and healthy and healthy, because your context is different. And then it's also geographical. So if you are listening to me right now, you are in a capitalist environment. The way you apply the principles is different from somebody that is in a socialist environment. It's different from somebody that is in a communist environment. So principles are universal. No matter who you are, the principles and the laws of wealth creation are the same. Number one, the principle of financial intelligence. What you know determines how far you go. If you are not informed, you will be deformed. If you are not inspired, you will expire. If you are not updated, you will be outdated. Those who know rule over those who do not know. So, number one is the law of what? Financial education, financial literacy. Number two is the law of delayed gratification. You must learn to delay gratification. If you eat tomorrow's food today, you'll be hungry tomorrow. If you wear tomorrow's clothes today, you'll be naked tomorrow. So delay gratification. Money is not for eating. There are only three things you can do with money. You can waste it, you can spend it, you can invest it. Foolish people waste money. Average people spend money. Wise people invest money. So the law of delayed gratification is a law you must apply. Anywhere you are, the one number three is the law of savings. If you don't save, you are not saved. What you save today will save you tomorrow. So you need to save because money is tripartite. There is nothing called future. There is nothing called tomorrow. Today is yesterday's future. Today is yesterday's tomorrow. So the tomorrow you are talking about, my future is bright, my future is bright. There is no bright future anywhere. The future is a concept. It doesn't exist. You create it with your today. So every time you get money, money is tripartite. That money that you are receiving, every time you receive that money, a portion of that money belongs to your past to take care of the bills you have already incurred. A portion of that money belongs to your present to take care of your ongoing obligation. A portion of that money belongs to your tomorrow, your future. So if you don't save, you are eating your future. But if you save 10, 20, 30% of your income, you are now creating the future. By the time you enter the future will have been created. Number four, the law of asset acquisition. You need to acquire assets and not liabilities. So every time you are getting money, you are saving. Savings is not an investment, but you save so that you can invest. Savings is setting money aside for a purpose. Investing is sending money on assignment for a return. So the law of asset acquisition must be applied. You acquire asset, not liability. iPhone 12, iPhone 13, iPhone 14. What has it ended up with your life? You are buying red bottom shoe, bag and shoe to match. Your destiny is not matching your bank account. You are buying bone straight. Your life is not straight. And you are buying three-piece suit, and then you don't have 3 floors of flats or 3 plots of land. All those things are a waste of your life. So you acquire asset. Number five, the law of cash flow and investment. It's not just enough to have an asset. You need to have cash flow producing asset and cash flow investment that continues to bring money into your life regardless of you working. Next, the law of multiple streams of income. You need to continue to have different streams of income working for. So the laws are all there. My School of Money book is there. There are many books that have been written all over the world that ask all these principles. They are not new, but people are not ready. They are looking for shortcuts, and shortcuts will cut you short. Shortcut is the longest cut because if you get crashed, you will crash land. So the laws are there, and anybody can apply it and it will work for them.
I just want to say you went over them quickly. I hope people are taking notes because you,
We have a short time, and
I
when they
know.
ask questions, we'll be breaking it down. And look, School of Money, look at the School of Money. It's the whole Bible of wealth creation. Oh. So the thing that is here is a whole master class. It's a whole so we have so many angles, and we just drop it. And then when they ask questions, at least this video is recorded. They can go to your YouTube and then they can listen to it over and over again. People listen to my video sometimes 10, 20, 30 times. They listen until the word becomes flesh. So
So just as a recap from what I got from what you said, because I want to start letting people in. You said we you cannot eat tomorrow's food today. And
yeah,
not
if you eat tomorrow's food today, you'll be hungry tomorrow now. It's not simple.
what is tomorrow's food that we are eating today? Are
The
you
savings, the money, that money, the one that belongs to tomorrow. If you eat it tomorrow, today, you don't have tomorrow.
so you are saying that saving money is a must?
It's a must. If you
But
want to create
that
wealth, it's a
comes back to my first question when people say, I'm not even making enough. And
no.
you
You
are
see,
telling me,
okay, let me tell you something. You see, I was ministering in New York years ago, and a lady, asked that. It's just a mindset thing. A lady, Americans when they are very forward. That's what I was talking. She was just lifting up her hand like this. I'm like, "Ilele tu verse or two, it was just lifting her like this. So afterwards, I said, so sorry, young lady, what can I do for you? Do you have a question? He said, no, no, no. You see, you don't understand because the way you just stuck in, many of us, we've got to pay bills. We've got to pay bills. And, by the time you're making money, you go to taxes and you pay bills. I said, okay, cool down. Are you good? Okay. I said, let me ask you a question. Are you able to pay your bills regularly and successfully? She said, yes. That's okay. So now, if a new bill is introduced into your life right now, if, for instance, you find out that there is an extra bill of $100 every month that you need to pay, what are you going to do? I'm just going to find a way to pay it, I'm just going to find a way to pay because I need to pay my bills. I need to have my credit scores. I need to get it. I say, okay, no problem. I say, so what I'm telling you now, let your savings become a bill you are paying to your future. Let your savings become a bill you are paying to your future.
wow.
And
I
once you understand it, since you are operating on a bill mentality, Let me make savings a bill. She said, oh, I got you, I got you, I got you, I got you. That's Pastor,
I
I got
really like that. I
you.
don't
And
think
that's what,
people look at it from that
yes,
angle.
you are
Let
owing
your
your future.
savings
You are owing
become
your
a
future.
bill.
Savings is a bill that you owe your future. Pay your future. Create your future. Don't eat it and be wondering, because once your expenditure is greater than your income, your upkeep will become your downfall.
Once your expenditure is greater
Is
than your
greater than your
income.
income, your upkeep will become your downfall. That's why
Wow.
you are in America 10, 15, 20, 30 years. You are doing 3, 4 jobs. You are still poor. Why? Because you don't understand. It doesn't work like that. You need
So
to understand these things. Yeah.
it's not only people in America that are watching Shao, just so
Yeah, they
you
are
know.
all over the world,
People
but
are
it's the
watching
same
from
thing.
Nigeria too. I really like that. Let your savings become a bill. We always make sure that we pay our bills, no
Yeah.
matter what. We we make sure we pay our bills. So now, if a saving is seen as another bill that we have to pay, then we will make sure that we pay that as well.
Yeah.
So after I save, what do I do with this? If do I just keep it in the bank?
Okay, now there are 7 reasons for savings, but we can't go into all that. Number one, you are saving. Saving is setting money aside for a purpose. And one of the reasons why you save is for what we call eventualities. You save for eventualities. You save for the raining day. You save for security. So we tell people that you need to save between 6 to 8 months of your living expenses stored up in cash. So, if, for instance, if you need 2,400, 2,400 to survive every month, that's you look at your budget and you know, okay, I need 2,400 every month. Then 2,400 times 6 or 2,400 times 8 is what you have saved up in cash, so that no matter what happens, you will still be able to live for 6 months while you're trying to reinvent and reorganize your life. And once you have that covered, then you are good to go. That's number one. Number two reasons why you save is to be able to maximize opportunities. Life is all about opportunities. It is better to be prepared, waiting for opportunities, than for opportunities to come and meet you unprepared. So the second reason why you save is to maximize opportunities, because crisis creates opportunities. So if someone is in a crisis, they can decide to sell a car for 30% of its value. They can decide to sell a house for 60% of its value. They can decide to sell an asset for 70% of its value. Why? Because they are in crisis. And you can now maximize that opportunity, because success is opportunity plus preparation equals to success. So the second reason why you save is so that you can be able to maximize opportunities that life brings to you. Number three, the third reason why you save is for investment. You save so that you can invest. Savings is not an investment, because the return on your savings, the interest rate on your savings is not, and it's not a good return. The inflation is going to eat up that. Devaluation is going to eat up that. So savings is not an investment, but you need to save and develop that culture so that you have money to invest. So the third reason for saving is for investment, so that you can now send that money on assignment. So savings is setting money aside for a purpose. Investment is sending money on assignment for a return. So you are sending the money on assignments on an investment plan. So you are putting it in real estate, you are putting it in gold, you are putting it in treasury bills, you are putting it in shares, you are putting it in all kinds of platforms. So that money now goes to work. So this it goes to work for. So instead of you working hard for money, it is the money that is now working hard to bring a return. So those are 3 out of the many reasons why you save.
Wow, thank you so much. Um, I'm gonna post the link for people to join us so that they can ask you questions. My last question is to, first of all, are you telling me, because you said we should save enough money that can last us 6 months? I can hear some people laughing that 6 months. How am I supposed to do that? Are you telling me that, situations like my rent, let's say I'm living in Nigeria, where I pay rent once a year, are you telling me is not an emergency? It's not, I'm not supposed to be borrowing money for rent because I have a whole year to prepare. Are you telling me that's one of the reasons I have to save money? Are you telling me my rent? Because some people are
Now,
used to borrowing their rent whenever it's time. And
okay,
my last
okay,
question is, can't I just pay my tithe
okay.
and be rich? Why do I have to follow all these laws that you have? talking
Okay,
about.
so let
So
me
guys,
start with
I'm
the rest.
sorry, sir. Guys, I'm
Okay.
posting the link for you to join so I can start letting people in the studio to ask him questions. But please address those two things. My rent is not an emergency, and can't I just pay tithes instead of all this wahala, saving money, theories, and so on,
Okay,
principles?
so let me start with the rent issue. Since you brought in Nigeria, for me as an individual, there are two people that I hardly help when they are asking for money. Number one, people that are asking for money to pay rent, and number two, people that are asking for money to pay hospital bills when they are pregnant. And the reason is that when you are impregnating your wife, I was not there, I was not part of the action.
Ah, God.
Why should I be a part of the payment? God gave you 9 months notice from the day of conception to the day of gestation. Gestation period is 9 months. So for 9 months, you didn't know how to package money to prepare for. Then when you are now in hospital, you are now calling everybody. It's not. It's part of lack of. It's what we call financial irresponsibility. Now in Nigeria, we pay rent for 1 year, 2 years. So are you telling me for 2 years you went to sleep? No. Every money you make every month, a portion of that money belongs to your future. I've already said it. So if you know, let's assume now, let's come to Nigeria since you are using Nigeria as example. So in Nigeria, you are someone that earns, let's say you earn 70,000 or let's say 100,000 for mathematics. You earn 100,000 and your rent is, let's say, 300,000. What that means is that every month there is about 25,000 naira of that 100,000 that does not belong to you. It belongs to your rent. So you should have a rent account where that 25,000 is going. So if you are earning 100,000, it simply means you are actually earning 40,000 because 25,000 is already rent. You will still pay tithe. You will still transport yourself to work. And another thing you need to look at that level is, are you really sure that you are living in the house you should be living in? Because every time people are talking of, oh, I want money, they're always thinking of having more money. There are only two ways you can make money available to you: increase your income or reduce your expenditure. This same person begging for rent, we have eyelashes, we have extension nail, we have all kinds of weave, Peruvian hair, Italian hair. This same person, we have shoes. I love shoes. I love shoes. You have two legs, but you are buying shoes like an octopus. This same person, we have bag and shoe to match. Yeah, their destiny is not matching their bank account. This same person, we have three handsets like 419 and be telling me you are buying iPhone 11, iPhone 30, iPhone. Most of the time, there is so much materialism and waste in our life. If you reduce your expenditure, some people are living in 3 bedrooms that should be in 1 room. Some people are living in 2 bedrooms that should be in 1 room. So you cut your coat according to your material, not according to your size, because you can be obese. So if the material is not enough for coat, you sew waistcoat. If you cannot do waistcoat, you do muffler. If you cannot do muffler, you do pocket handkerchief. Just represent. So that is what I will say to that, because this issue of prosperity and riches and wealth, you need discipline. And you need to really cut yourself and, start organically. Because I have to eat my 3 square meal. Is 3 a square or a triangle? 3 square meal. Where do you get all this nonsense from? Must you eat when you are not hungry? So you need to cut it down. Many of the things we are spending money as a financial consultant, and I'm a celebrity for Nigeria. When I sit people down, no matter how poor they think they are, you will still see areas in their life where they need to cut expenses. Because many times we are doing things, we are trying to, what will people say? How will people feel? And people are not interested in all those stuff. So to the second one, you see, one of the things you need to understand, I don't know how long we have, but let me do this. Is the religion is more dangerous than the devil. And a lot of people that say they are Christians, they are not Christians, they are just religious people. And you see, Christianity is not a religion, it's a relationship with your creator. To say, let me just pay my tithes and then I will prosper. The Bible didn't tell you that when you tithe, you will prosper. It's not in the Bible. It is you interpreting it that way. He say, and open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing. Go and read your Bible very well. When the windows of heaven open, it's water that came out, it's rain, not money.
Ah, so what did
So,
the Bible say? For those that will
so
be asking you.
yeah, because he say, open. Don't let me break it. He say, I will open the windows, I pour you out a blessing, singular, a blessing. You are now turning to that there will not be enough room to contain it. You have been tithing for 30 years, 20 years. Is there enough room? So when he was talking to Jews, he was talking to farmers in a desert, and he's telling them, they understood what they say. Look, when you bring your tithes, because everything you have belongs to God, the entire 100%. So all this 10% stuff is just elementary school. When you become rich, you want to become rich, tax alone is 40% plus tithe only 50. So if you are still arguing with 10 on YG, when you are going to become rich, they will collect tax of 40. So when he said, I will bless, he said, bring your tithe into the storehouse and prove me, and I will rebuke the devourer, and I'll pour you out a blessing that you have no room enough to contain it. I will open the windows of heaven and pour you. Now, windows of heaven according to the law of first mention. It's in biblical exegesis. Biblical exegesis is the careful, systematic study of the Word of God to discover the original intended meaning so that you can rightly apply it for the now. And the law of biblical interpretation, one of the laws of biblical interpretation is the law of first mention. When you want to understand anything in the Bible, go to the very first place where it was mentioned. The first place windows of heaven was mentioned is in Genesis during the days of Noah. When the windows of heaven opened, water came down, rain, and God opened the fountains of the deep, and water came out. So when he was talking to them, he's saying, when you bring tithe, and the tithe they were bringing were pawpaw, pineapple, orange, because they were farmers. And he said, when you bring your tithe, produce from your farm, I will open the windows of heaven, will pour you out a blessing. That means I will give you rain. Rain will come upon the desert and your fruits will produce. That's what he was telling them. So now, are you a farmer? Are you a Jew? Are you in a desert? So now you are working, you are bringing money. So what he's saying is that tithing blesses you with things that money cannot buy. So for a student that tithes, you don't get money, you get retentive memory. But even though you are supposed to get retentive memory, it is when you go to class that you have retentive memory. You cannot retain a lecture you did not sit for. He said the Holy Spirit will bring to your remembrance. Is it not what you read that you can remember? So if you now say, because I tithe, I have retentive memory, you didn't go to class, you didn't read your book, you will tithe and you will fail. If you are a salary earner, he says, when you bring your tithe, that means you labor with your energy. You labor, you go there. At the end of the month, you get an increase, 1 week, 2 weeks, and then you bring a tenth. The entire 100% belongs to God. Oh. You know, say, God, I acknowledge that you are my source. I acknowledge that you are the one that gave me the power to get this, and I'm bringing this 10 to honor you. When you are bringing that 10, it will now bless you with things that money cannot buy. Good health, favor, connections. So as a salary earner, you will have good health to continue to make the money. As a salary earner, you will have favor so that there are things that you're supposed to spend money on. It will make a way for you not to need to spend the money. And it will cause you to get your promotion at the right time, and you have progressive progress in your life. Connection, it will connect you with people that will make things easy for your life. That's what it means. So it doesn't mean that because you tithe, you will now become prosperous. No. And I see people say anointing for prosperity, anointing for this. Let's stop all this nonsense. The supernatural is a combination of the super plus the natural. Super will remain super without the natural. Natural will remain natural without the super. It's a combination of the super and the natural that produces supernatural. So for you to say that somebody will anoint you to prosper, you are fooling yourself. You cannot be anointed to be a pilot. You can't be anointed to be a medical doctor. You can't be anointed to be a lawyer. You can't be anointed to be an engineer. No. But does it mean the anointing is useless? No. Whatever you multiply by 0 equals to 0. So the anointing is powerful, tangible, visible. But because there is zero knowledge in you, the anointing will be suspended until your knowledge catches up. So I can anoint you now and say, I anoint you to be a driver. You will still not be able to drive. But if you now carry that anointing and go to driving school, instead of learning it for 2 weeks, in 2 days, you catch up. Why? Because the anointing will accelerate it. If I now say now, I anoint you to be a medical doctor, by the time I release that oil upon your life, when you now apply to be a medical doctor and you go to school, that anointing will work through the 7 years of your lecture so that you can pass, you will do well, and graduate well. So all this, religious nonsense. No. Christianity is not a religion. And we should stop all these things because there are a lot of people, 10%, 10%. Why are we so concerned about 10%? And we are not using the same passion to teach people what to do with the remaining 90%. 90 is more than 10K. So if you give 10 and you use financial stupidity and financial irresponsibility to mismanage the 90, you will now turn around to say it's the 10 they collected that made you to be poor. No. Let's stop all this stuff. Let's become realistic. God is the creator of everybody, but he's the savior of some. And as a creator, there are principles that govern his creation. Whether you are born again or not, or you are an atheist or not, or the rain will fall on the righteous and on the unrighteous, the sun will fall on the righteous and on the unrighteous. So why are all the richest people on earth not born again? Is Elon Musk born again? Is Jeff Bezos born again? They are not. But the principles that is making them to be wealthy, they are kingdom principles by the creator. So even though they are not born again, they are applying the principles of Jesus, because there is a difference between the person of Jesus and the principles of Jesus. So when you are born again, you embrace the person. It gives you peace and guarantees your eternity. But if you ignore the principle, you will still be poor. You will be going to heaven, but you will be poor here on earth on your way to heaven. But those unbelievers, they have embraced the principles of Jesus, but they rejected the person of Jesus. So they are going to hell, but they are enjoying heaven on their way to hell, while you are going through hell on your way to heaven. And God wants you to have heaven on earth and heaven in heaven. So there is nobody on earth that can ever be rich without applying the kingdom principle. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, they are all givers. They give in billions. So they give more than tithes, and nobody can prosper without giving. So if you don't believe in giving, you are a fool, complete fool. Giving. But all these religious tithes, this, that, is because a lot of charlatans have come into this thing. But giving is a law of life that the Creator has instituted. Whether you are born again or not, when you plant corn, you will harvest corn. Whether you are born again or not, when you give, you will harvest. Whether you are born again or not, when you sleep with your wife, you will be pregnant and you have a child. Even if you are an atheist, even if you don't believe in the Creator. So why do you now say you are a Christian and you are not practicing the principles that the Creator has put in place to manage His creation? So as a Christian, embrace the principles, embrace the person, and balance it up, and then you will do well in life.
Wow. Thank you so much. That was, thank you. I don't know what else to say. I hope you guys enjoyed that. There has been a lot of comments. I think a lot of people really, really enjoyed what you talked about. I've never had anyone break down this whole issue of tithe and offering like you did. And I think a lot of people really enjoyed it. And also, you ironed out this particular question. Rent is an emergency. I think after everything he said, people know that rent is not an emergency. You may need to cut down where you live. And then somebody else said there should be a portion for rent and a portion to buy land. This is to look where Day. And School of Money book said everybody can save no matter what he or she earns. Just apply 70/30 rule. Thank you so much. So we have a lot of people in the studio already. I'm going to start letting them in. Just so you know, let me read the names of the people we have in the studio, because some people, when they don't see themselves on the screen, they think that they are not in. You are in, yet it's just that I need to bring you in when it's your turn. I have Sandra Uko, I have Kizes Lester, I have Tope. If I didn't pronounce your name correctly, I apologize. I have Bridget Chigozi, Oluchi, Akinse Moyi, K, and Benny Anagbao. I have Martins Odigbo, and I have Mo Dari. So I'm going to let you guys ask your questions. Please, please, and please just go straight to the point, because there are so many people that would love to ask him a question. It's a rare opportunity that we have to have him live and direct. Thank you so much once again, sir, for coming on the show. It's a rare opportunity to have him live and direct. So please don't be selfish with your time, so that other people can also ask. So just go straight to your question and then let him talk. So the first person is Miss Sandra Uko. Hi, tell us where you're calling from and what your question is. Please unmute yourself. You're muted, and I'm not able
Good
to.
evening. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma.
Sandra is next.
Yeah,
Please, let's hear from
I'm
Sandra first.
excited because Olumide is my mentor. Great one. I want to appreciate you, Jola, for bringing for bringing him on board. You know, you don't get such a person easily, and for you to have done that, kudos to your effort. And I learned from a long time that you've got to put money aside, even if you're dying. You got to set money aside, no matter how difficult it is. If you can pay your bills, you can eat 3 square meal, you can save. And these days, everybody's trying to be fit. So we can, as much as possible, we're trying to be fit. We can do 101 or 001. Find out what time you need the most energy to work. And if it's at that time, you want to skip your meal or you want to feed, eat well. So that the other times you have something to save. I know that in Nigeria, we have, people are working, receiving 20,000 salary for a month, which is not even enough to take them for the month. But we have to just find a way around it. So I want to appreciate you, sir. Maybe you want to throw more lights on that. For someone who's receiving a stipend or a salary that is 30,000, not even enough to take them home, how can they manage and start putting something aside?
One of the things you come to realize about life is no matter the level of life you operate in, every vision has a small version. No matter who you are. In Nigeria, I live in Nigeria. There are people that live under the bridge in Nigeria. They live in wooden houses, and they have been living in that life for the past 30 years. They have given birth to children. Their children have gone to school. Their children have learned a trade. Their children have graduated. They sell bolly. They sell epa. They sell isususu. They sell granite. They sell oranges. And they have raised their children. Why? Because they cut their coats according to their material. No matter who you are, they live in a wooden house. They are not trying to go and rent a house and pay for 1 year. They go to school where they pay per day. If you go to school 3 times a week, that's the 3 days you will pay. So every area of life has everybody's version. It is when you begin to do long throats and you are jumping into territory you are not ready for that you get. So even with 20,000 people are surviving, it is ridiculously small. It is ridiculous. It is a high level of poverty to end that, because United Nations says any $2 a day is poverty, any $1 a day is extreme poverty. So over 70% of Nigerians are in extreme poverty. But even in the midst of that extreme poverty, people that are realistic with their life, they stay at the bottom. They are not trying to drink bottled water or sachet water. They are drinking direct from the well or direct from the river. They are not trying to have 10 clothes. They are going to the boutique to buy second-hand and third-hand clothes. They are not looking for first hand. So you just look for the level where you can operate, because your present state is not your final status. And the fact that you have a bad or poor background does not mean your back should be on the ground. Just look for what you can do. The many times the people think it's motivation, aspire to perspire. No, it's the truth. If you cannot fly, run. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. Just make sure you are making progress. And we have testimonies of people that started like that. They labor, suffer, caught firewood, do this. But today, the story is different, because
Sure.
as you move on, destiny will meet you on the way.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Let me give others room to ask their questions. I'll come back later, sir.
Thank you, Sandra. So Sandra is my agent in Maryland. So if you want to buy any property from us or anything, she's the one in Maryland. That's one of my mentees and agents in the country. So we have offices in different parts of the state, but she's from Maryland. So next, Adeola, who is the next person?
I should let people know, by the way, if anyone is interested in any of your books, that can they find on your website?
Yeah, my website is www.olumideemmanuel.org. www.olumideemmanuel.org. All my books are there, soft copy, MP3. They can pay. There is a secure payment platform. They can download. They can pay with Zelle. They can do Cash App. And I have offices in New York, in Houston, and in Atlanta. And I have agents in Ohio, in Maryland, and in Atlanta also. So I can send all the details to you. They can call any of the agents. The books are also there. If you want physical copy, they can ship it to you. Yeah, that's olumideemmanuel.org. They can ship the physical copy to you either from New York, Ohio, Atlanta, or Houston. And you can do the download. And then you follow me on my social media, Instagram at olumideemmanuel. And then you can private chat me, DM me, and then we can give you the phone number of all our agents in the US.
So please, if anyone is interested in buying any of his books, all these things he has said today, he has written books about them.
Yeah, School of Money.
School
of Money.
In detail. If you don't get anything else, at least get the School of Money. It explains all those things that he has talked about today. So thank you so much, Ms. Sandra. Kazes Lester, you are next. Please, what's your question?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity. Please, I want to ask. I want to use my own situation as a point of reference, because I'm a student here in Italy, and the situation is, let's just say, that I can't even explain, and the income is very low, and the income cannot even pay when I pay my utilities and pay the other bills. I don't have anything left to invest. And I'm someone that loves investment. I want to ask, because of the stress and the depression and everything, I want to ask if I want to ask for advice from you, sir. Should I just drop out and face investment first and take on about the education and take on the education later, or should I just try my possible best to finish the university and finish everything before I think about the investment? Because I love to invest, because as we are growing, as I'm going, age is adding up. So my plan is to have more investments on ground before I graduate.
Okay, well, one of the things you need to understand is that life is in seasons, and for every season of life, there are things that should be done within that season. As a student, for you to be a student, somebody is supposed to be sending you to school, not you going to school and paying for yourself. And now, for you to be going to school and paying for yourself, it means that something has gone wrong somewhere. The person that is supposed to pay is not available, or they cannot afford it. And now you are now going to school as a student. You cannot be a student and at the same time want to be a full-time worker. You can't do that, because as a student, most of the time you are probably 20 hours a week to work. And so your school fees is not supposed to be paid from the work you are doing. That's already an anomaly. So you are already operating in what I call the exception stage of life, because you're supposed to be a student, and that 20 hours you are doing is supposed to just add some small change to you. So when you find yourself in an exceptional situation like this, then now you need to apply what we call the exceptional principles. That means you have to work harder, faster, and smarter. Harder, faster, and smarter. Because hard work must be accompanied with smart work in order for you to do well. So I will not advise you to drop out of school, because if you get a better education, that certificate will help you and be a leverage. What I will now advise you to do is to work harder. Work harder, therefore, means you cannot afford to sleep for 8 hours. You might have to reduce your sleeping to like 4 hours. And then what that means, you now need to think of other things you can do to make money that will be faster. So harder means you reduce your sleeping time, increase your working time. Faster means you look at things that will produce money faster. And smarter means you look for things that will not require too much of your energy or your time, but will produce money. So now you are a student. There are a lot of things you can do online. A lot of people always think of Yahoo, 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 Yahoo. You don't need to be a Yahoo. There are things you can do. You can do drop shipping. As a student, you don't need more than 1 hour a day online to do drop shipping. You can set up your own platform and go into drop shipping. The company that produce and the customer, you won't even need to do anything. Your website will just be a landing page for them to buy, so you can do drop shipping. You can be a scrum master, you can be a project manager, you can be a data processor. There are a lot of IT software programming. You can go online, study it free of charge on YouTube, and by the time you spend 10 to 20 hours of serious study, you will begin to practice, and there are a lot of jobs. There is remote work. You are in Italy, you can be in Italy, work in America, work everywhere. We are in a 24-hour economy. So the fact that other people are sleeping in Italy does not mean they are sleeping in Nigeria or they are sleeping in Australia. So you need to understand the 24-hour economy, so that while people are now sleeping in Italy, that they expect you to be sleeping, you are doing another 4 hours, resuming in another country to do remote work. So there is so much you can do, and that's what mentorship is all about. For somebody like you, if I sit down with you now, I can show you almost 15 places where you can be making money, and your life will just become easier. But when we now tell
I
you,
would like you to be my
when we
mentor,
now
sir.
tell
Sorry,
you,
sorry to
when
break
we
you.
tell you, let me finish so that you will know before you ask that question. When we now tell you, come and pay for mentorship, you don't want to pay. You say you can't afford it. So you think I will now give you free information for you to now make money and forget me. Eh? I'm a pastor.
Sorry, sir.
Counseling is free, but consultancy attracts a fee. Where there is a voice, there is an invoice.
Okay, okay.
Uh,
So sorry, sir. One more thing,
Yeah.
because you said there's somebody supposed to be sponsoring my education, and there's something wrong somewhere. I don't want to say it publicly. I'm the one sponsoring everything myself, because
That's
I
what
have
I
no
said. I
parents, so
know.
I
Yeah,
need to
I
do
know.
everything by myself. So because the time management and everything, stress and everything, I can't. I have learned a lot of skills that I can use. I learn digital marketing. I learn the cybersecurity. There's paying for other courses. I've learned a lot, but the one that is most important to me is that having my own bachelor's degree. Let's just say bachelor's degree for a start, in order for me to focus on other things, other part of my life. But the problem now is that I have a lot of let's just say I'm lacking on management, stress management, and other areas. That is just the problem.
Yeah, so
Thank you for
do
your
work
advice.
on
I
that.
really appreciate. If I
Okay.
have the opportunity, maybe I will book a one-on-one interview
Session.
with you if it is possible.
Yeah, you
I
see
think
that
that's a
website,
good idea.
www.olumidemanuel.org/conclave. My mentorship is called the Billionaires Conclave. So /conclave. If you go there, you download the brochure and then you can register. Then we can take it from that point.
Actually,
Thank you very much, sir. Don't,
once you get on his
okay.
website,
Thank
you'll be able
you.
to navigate
Thank you,
to
thank you, my sister. Please, I want to beg you for something. Please, can you still talk more on it? Because when you refer us to Tunde Laniran, they are very good. Please, can you still refer many companies like that in Nigeria? Please, even if it is a couple I can save to invest a little bit, it will be something in future.
no
Thank you very
problem.
much. I really appreciate your work.
You
Thank you
get
so
on
much,
his
sir. Thank
website,
you, ma.
to navigate to find like the mentorship program as well. So I think that's a great idea. Thank you so much for your question. Dr. Lumide, before I bring in the next person, you mentioned something that is very important just now, that somebody was supposed to pay for his education. Um, Coming from Nigeria, I hear this a lot, that situations where parents there's an expectation on the children to take care of parents, but you are talking about this should be the parents' responsibility. I don't know how to put it. So
Okay.
so I have a situation where someone was having a baby, and I know that things are tight. So I was surprised when the person was having a baby, because I was like, why don't you wait till things are financially okay? And the person said, if I wait, when would this child grow up to now take care of me? So I was now like, the child you have not even given birth to, you're already
Yeah.
giving them expectation to take
Yeah.
care of you. Why don't you take care of yourself? The child is not begging to come to the world. So I don't know if you can say anything about that. I'm not saying that people should abort pregnancy. That's not. But people that watch me, they know I talk a lot about planning before having kids. So,
Yeah.
but
So, so
since you mentioned that, I thought
you
you
see,
may.
Africa, we have a lot of problems in Africa, and right now our major issue is our mindset and our beliefs, and our upbringing has affected us in so many ways. So you have people in Africa where parents are giving birth to children. Your children are not a retirement plan. Children is not an economic strategy for escaping poverty. And that's part of the black tax that has affected us in Africa. It's the same thing with marriage. You are going to get married now expecting the husband to carry all your responsibility. Marriage is not an economic empowerment plan. Marriage is not a poverty escaping principle. And you need to understand that wealth is not sexually transmitted. Marrying a rich man does not make you rich. So if you are a parent, it is the parent that should lay off for the children, not children that will lay off for the parents. I'm a Yoruba man, and you hear people say, "Talk about that, but momo elamu." Is that not incest? How can you be waiting to suck your children's breast? So you mean now that when you give birth to a child you are giving birth to today, you will now wait for 25 years for that child to come and take care of? That's why we are perpetuating poverty. And it's not a generational cause, it's a generational choice and a generational decision. So I will advise parents to understand that you should not give birth to more children that you can take care of, because every child you give birth to is minus 15 years of your life, and every child you give birth to is 25 years for you to be free. So the day you give birth to your last born, add 25 years to your age. That is when you'll be free from that child. So why will you be bringing that much, load into your life? Give birth to children you can manage effectively, or else you're going to compound poverty in your life. And I pray that people will listen and make that adjustment, because it is affecting a lot of people. And that's why many young people, because they have so much load, so much responsibility, they are going to all kinds of vices to try to take care of their parents and take care of their siblings, which is not their responsibility.
Wow, thank you so much. Miss Bridget Chigozi, please go ahead with your question. Tell us where you're calling from.
Good morning, Adeola, and good morning, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. I'm calling from New Zealand.
Okay, you're welcome, ma'am.
New Zealand, and it's morning here.
Okay.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. And so my question is this, like I'm a registered nurse. So I know how to put money away. I know how to save, but I don't know how to invest. Like I really want to, but I don't know how to invest maybe in stock market, in shares, in all this stuff. I'm like, what's all this thing they're talking about? But I'm saving, but my money is not working for me. My money is just in the bank, just like in fixed term. I have a retirement saving which is called Kiwi Saver here in New Zealand. When I checked the last statement, I think it lost like minus 1.53%. So I'm like, I really want my money to work for me. I just don't want my money sitting in the bank, but I want to invest. But I'm also scared that I might lose money like in value and all those things. So I will need help, please. Thank
Okay,
you.
so let me answer you straight because I can see you are elderly. Because when people seek advice, we give them, there are a lot of questions we need to ask before I can advise people when it comes to their personal finance. As a financial coach and financial consultant, questions that I normally ask are: number one, what are your financial goals? Why do you want to invest? What's the purpose of the investment? Is it for retirement? Is it for cash flow? Is it for acquisition of asset? Number two is how much do you have to invest, so that we can know where to direct you. Number three is what is your risk appetite? How much risk do you want to take? Number four is how old are you? Number five is how long do you have? So those are questions we normally ask, but I can see now that you are elderly and I can see you've labored for years. So my advice for you will be to do two things. Number one,
Okay.
put your money in a fixed investment plan. Fixed
Okay.
investment plans are like bonds, treasury bills, fixed deposits. These are fixed
Okay.
return. The return is fixed. So you have a level of security because the return is low, but it is fixed and guaranteed. So if you are buying a
Okay.
government bond now, you know that you are buying a bond from government. It's not going to fail. You are buying a treasury
Okay.
bills. You are buying mutual funds. So that's number one. Number two is real estate. So, ma'am, I'm going to give you an assignment right now. Once you
Okay.
drop this phone now, after
Yes.
this session, I want you to pick your phone and Google cheap houses in New Zealand. You say you're in New Zealand, right?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So just Google cheap houses in New Zealand. How much? What's the currency of New Zealand?
I
Is
really
it
don't know.
euro?
Oh, New Zealand. No, New Zealand dollar. Like one New Zealand dollar. I mean,
Okay.
one New Zealand dollar could be like maybe 0.62 US dollars.
So your own is more than American dollars.
No, it's less than American
Less
dollar
than.
now.
Okay, so let me explain what I'm so now. I can guarantee you now that's your New
Mhm.
Zealand that you are in. There's a
Mhm.
$50,000 house that is available in that New Zealand.
No, the houses are very expensive here in New Zealand.
That is, don't argue with me, man. I'm telling
Yes,
you.
sir.
And that's why I'm giving
Okay.
you assignment. When you finish the assignment, call back or tell us that I've told you. Google it. Pick your phone now. Let's Google it. This area, I am a global speaker. I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Do you understand? You see, when you say it's very expensive, where? It's like telling me that there is no 50,000 naira land in Nigeria because you live in Lagos. Do you understand? Many of you live in cities and you are using city to gauge yourself. I was in New York just last month. I did the same thing. They were arguing with me in Bronx. I said in New York, you can get a $50,000 house. They said it's not possible. I said, Google it. Even in Bronx, we got a $130,000 house in Bronx, and they were telling me it's 500. This is my job, man. That's why I'm here to help you. Don't argue until you have done it and you find it to be false. Google
Okay.
it, you will see.
All right.
There
Okay.
are $50,000 houses. So when
Mhm.
you now check all those houses, there are other things we now need to factor: location, state of the
Mhm.
house, and all those stuff. So begin to gather money. Go into real estate in
Mhm.
New Zealand. Sit down,
Okay.
study it, and begin to, because you can go into rental properties. So all that money you are saving, putting in this, and it's losing the RSA, this and that. No. Once you have those ones, you'll have a portion of your money there. But Google it. New Zealand. If I let me even do it now, they say, sorry, come and waste time. So that you see, these are not
Okay.
things that move like cheap,
Okay.
cheap.
I
Because the
can
fact that
go
you are in one city does not mean it is that city you must have a house.
I
Okay.
found a
You can live in the city.
55,000.
You
I
have
found
found it already.
5,000 house in Greymouth.
It's
I'm not
still
In
sure.
Greymount.
Yeah.
Okay. I know Greymount, but have you
so
checked the
what
area? It's not,
so
there's no
so
flooding. There's
yeah, you see
no
that
like,
I don't know.
so that is
okay,
where the assignment is.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, so go and do the assignment. I'm
Wow.
telling you, this
Thank
is my
you.
job. Oh, this is my job. I'm a
Okay.
global wealth creator. I
Greymount.
have
Eh,
mentors
but sir,
all over the world.
sir,
So
what do you
when you list the properties, I'm not telling you go. I'm just telling you the possibility so that your mind can start thinking differently. It doesn't mean
Yes,
you go
sir.
and buy the $50,000 one, but it's to let you know that instead of putting there are possibilities. Give attention. That I want to invest. Go and sit down. You went to nursing now. You study money.
Mhm.
Sit down, Google it. Then when you Google it, this question you are asking us now, you are the one that will do the assignment by yourself. Okay, it's in
Yes,
this way.
sir.
Okay, You will now go and start finding out, is there flood there? Why is it cheap? Is it a dilapidated house? Is there crime there? You will now do your research. By the time you do the research, you will come back to now say, okay, this one is not for me. Maybe it's this 80,000 one that is for me. And another thing you now need to understand is this. Anything you cannot afford, collaborate. Nigerians are wonderful people. I finished all of them. This America I went. I can't trust Nigerians. I can't trust Nigerians. Something is wrong with you people. All the banks you are carrying your money to, do you know the owner of the banks you are putting your money into? You left Nigeria, you left Caribbean, and you now carry that same mind to America and be saying, because there is no law in Nigeria, there is no justice in Nigeria, doesn't mean there's no justice in America. So if you cannot afford the 50,000, look for 4 other people. Put 10,000 together. 5 of you can co-own a home. It's shared ownership. And you buy the house cash, you'll be collecting rent. In 10 years, you'll be amazed at what will happen. When you say, no, I can't trust anybody. Are you trustworthy? So if you are trustworthy, are you saying you are the only trustworthy person in the world? You mean all your life, she's my chief, my mate, my G girl, my main babe, and all your friendship is to do poverty and to do ashwebi. You can't do friendship to make money together.
No,
$10,000. So what are you talking? All you need is a lawyer. Have a legal document that binds you together. So let's stop all these things. I have raised people in America that are multi-millionaires from nothing. In America, I have raised billionaires in that America that started from nothing. So I'm not telling you things by moonlight. These are human beings that are alive. That had nothing. And in 10 years, they became something. It's step by step, no rushing. Practice it. If 5 or 10 of you come together now, I can, by the grace of God, show you how to be a millionaire in 10 years, anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. I've done it before. These are not things. If you are ready, if 10 of you start putting $10,000 together, that's $100,000 every month. $100,000 every month. You'll be shocked at what will happen in 10 years. There are franchises you can buy, and you will own companies all over America. So what are we talking about?
I wanted to ask a follow-up question on what she said. That what if the house, for example, is not in a prime location, like in Nigeria? What if, let's say, the house is in I don't want to bash Lauren, they are my people. But it's different from owning a house in like Lekki where he appreciates quickly. But he has answered my question that you can collaborate with other people if you want to buy in a prime location. And that too, and then you can share the money. So thank you so much for your question.
Sorry, I have another question if you don't mind. Like another thing I have is a quick one. I have a mom, like I know how to save, but I'm somebody I can easily depend into my savings to help people. I like to help my children, help people. And like my mom is in the US in Houston, and like, she will tell you she trained you, and she would like, like maybe she wants something, and maybe she wants to go to Atlanta, I have to buy ticket. So I'm easily dipping my hand into my savings to help people. So that's one thing, my issue.
As you are now, you are already elderly. If your mom is still depending on you, do you think it's normal? Let's face reality. That is abnormality. Honoring your father, the Bible says, honor your father and mother. Honor is not a levy. Honor is not a levy.
I know,
you honor people out of your willingness to honor. What?
She raised us up, like sent us to school and did all.
Nobody raised you up. God
Nigeria.
raised you up. Let's stop all this African mindset.
Responsibility.
It is their responsibility. Did you give birth to yourself? They raised you up. Now you born yourself, man. She born you. Now he go raise you. Now in job. Don't let's stop all this blackmail and all this African mindset. It has not helped us. It has not. At the way you are now, you should be in your 50s or 60s. How can your mother tell you to
I'm not so 60.
But you are not young.
I'm just waking up. I'm young in Jesus' name.
Amen. No, amen.
No, I understand. I really want to, because I have something in fixed.
My advice for you is this. Honor your father and mother is not a levy. It's a covenant obligation out of your free will. Every giving in your life should be done in percentage. If God asks for 10%, it means your mind should be thinking percentage. So have a percentage of your income you give to your parents every month.
Okay.
So every money you make, part of honoring your parents is that these people gave birth to me. let me give
Yeah.
mama $100 every month or $200 every month.
Okay.
And once you have
Okay.
done that, you have fulfilled the obligation. Don't carry load
Okay.
that is not your own. As I'm standing, I'm here now. My parents have been on salary for the past 22 years.
Mm.
I give them a small every month, and every year they change as they grow. So, and once I've
Yeah.
given that one, I've given. I didn't give birth to them; they gave birth to me.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
so
Thank
much.
you,
All right,
Adeola. Thank you.
bye.
God bless you, man.
Bye. And thank you for saying that, sir, because I was going to clarify that. Please, we are not saying that don't take care of your parents. We're
No, you
just
should.
saying that um it's
Don't carry evil load. Don't carry evil
yes,
load.
you know, they live their life. You should also be able to build your life. In fact, you'll be able to take care of them better if you don't feel this heavy burden. But unfortunately, some parents they put this burden on their kids. It's like expected, you know, especially like she said, I trained you, so you have to. But like you said, they brought you to the world. It's actually their responsibility, which is why before becoming a parent, nobody becomes a parent by accident. There's always something you do before you become a parent. Think very well before doing the deed that would make you a parent, and make sure you count your cost so that you're not now expecting the child to bear the cost of being born, you know. So anyways, our next guest is Oluchi. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us where you're calling from and what your question is.
Thank you, Deola. I'm really happy to be here, and then thank you, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel.
You're
I have
welcome, man.
listened, yeah, I've listened to you a number of times, and I think I always enjoy listening to you.
Thank
Now,
you, man.
I'm calling from Amsterdam in Netherlands, and my question actually has to do with the stage of life where I am. Somehow, I think my case is a bit close to the person that just you asked the question just before me, in the sense that yeah, I've been a lecturer in a Nigerian university for many, many, many years, and you know how it is with lecturing. And in my own case, I had to, well, family responsibilities left, right, and center. I mean, one cannot go into all of that here. But then I just now finished my PhD, which is, I just finished it about a week ago. I defended my PhD. So I'm at
Congratulations.
that stage. Thank you very much. I'm at that stage of life where I'm thinking of other things to do, you know, just to have other sources of income, because if I want to depend on my pay as a lecturer in Nigeria University, the last time I had a salary increase was in 2009.
Mm.
So between 2000, and of course that applies to almost every one of us in Nigerian universities. So it's not peculiar to me. So my question is, what really can I do at this stage, you know, to have other sources of income that I'm not depending solely on this thing about Nigerian government and salaries and all of that. Like you said, I mean, nobody can ever become anything being a salary earner. That's the truth of the matter. It's a bondage that I didn't realize early enough in life. How I wish I did. You can't become anything being a salary earner. That's the truth of the matter. It doesn't matter how much you are paid. So what can I do at this stage? What would be your advice?
Okay, so are you in Nigeria or you are in Amsterdam? Where do you reside?
Yeah, that is also part of the transit. Sorry, the junction of life where I am at the moment. I'm kind of having difficulty making up my mind either to go back to Nigeria or to stay here. Staying here, well, going back to Nigeria, I have a job already. I have a job because I'm here on study leave. I have a job which I can always go back to. But like we all know what it is back in Nigeria and all of that. So, and then I'm trying to make up my mind now to stay here. Now, where is the job to stay here? So there's too many things, you know, which are some of the things that are making me to think of other things that one can do that is outside this thing about just working and earning salary. So I don't know how you want to tackle my second.
Okay, so because I wanted to know where you are so that I can be able to know how to advise. Because if you're in
Yeah.
Nigeria, because most of the time when I talk to people in the Western world that are not in Nigeria, I don't even talk to them about investing in Nigeria because of the currency devaluation and all those stuff,
Mhm,
except they have
mhm.
a stake in Nigeria. They will say, okay, invest in Nigeria for this reason. So if you're in Amsterdam, then I will ask that number one, don't say that there is no job. You see, what you believe determines what you attract. And
Okay.
that's the way life operates. So to think that you go and do a PhD and there is no job, there are jobs. Just believe
Okay.
that there is job, that you just don't know that you exist yet. So the first thing to do will be to begin to put yourself out there. There are private universities, there are private colleges, there are different institutes, different academies that will need your skill. If I may ask, what area of discipline is what's your area
I
of?
theater studies, and I just finished a PhD on mainly what they call legislative theater.
So that's theater as in acting and entertainment, or theater as in medicine?
No, theater, acting, and entertainment, but now
Abba.
related to lawmaking.
Yeah, so entertainment law. Entertainment is a global thing. You don't need to work in Amsterdam. Even if you're in Amsterdam, there is remote work. So what I will advise you is, number one, put your CVs together and then identify the different industries you can work in and go online. Now you see this is your phone. You see Google is your friend. The University of Google is absolutely free. So when you finish now, these are things I do, and people say, maybe it's because it's a pastor, it's a miracle. It's not a miracle, it's a principle. Once you finish now, Google it. What jobs are available for a person of this qualification? And ask Google. You will be shocked in your Amsterdam. There are jobs looking for what you already have. So since you're already in the field of theater, you want to find out what are the different opportunities in theater, in entertainment, in TV station, radio station, cable station, and you'll be amazed that you'll be able to start working from where you are remotely anywhere in the world. You can now go to remote.com. Go online. There are a lot of websites that has remote work for people all over the world. You don't even need to be in that country. So just go now. So you, apart from Google, go to remote.com. You'll see a lot of job. Enter what you have, and you see a lot of other opportunities that will come up. And since you are in Amsterdam, are you mobile, man? Do you have a car? Do you drive, man?
No, I don't.
So you don't because you cannot, or you don't because you don't have a car, or what's the dynamics? Because I
I
was
don't
trying to
have a
say,
car.
okay, so but can you afford to get a car? You can
Not
drive
at the
and you have
moment. Not at the
not okay.
moment.
Yeah, because I wanted to tell you that you can also do Uber, Taxify, you can do Uber anywhere in the world. So, and once
Okay.
you're able to access a car, you can do Uber, and that can be giving you some money to keep body and souls together. So there are a lot of work. I spoke earlier on with the other guy on what I call, drop shipping. So you can go online now and just Google drop shipping and study it. There are a
What did you
lot of
call it?
drop shipping.
Drop.
Drop, yeah, DROP.
ROP. Okay.
Yeah, drop shipping. Just study it. There are so many things that can be done. It's knowledge, is just that we don't have those knowledge because if you research is this Google, you'll be shocked. I have people making money all over. Once they have the knowledge, they go there, they check it, and they're ready to do the job. You'll be amazed. So go check all these things. See, somebody said, check, create. Okay, they are doing. So drop shipping. So drop shipping is you create a site, you put a lot of goods that people will need. People come to your site to buy the goods. The manufacturer will be the one to send the goods to them. So just study it. Drop shipping. It's an easy thing anybody can do anywhere. And then there are a lot of other remote work. So just Google remote work. What can I do remotely? What can I do from my house? What are the just Google it, you'll be seeing options. Then study the option, investigate it, and before you know it, when you invest between 10 to 20, 30 hours to do research, you will end up with something. And you will be amazed. God
Thank you
bless you.
very much.
Thank
Yes,
you
ma'am.
so much. People were giving you advice in the comment section as well. Some people say you should try the academia, that you definitely get a job there. And some people said you should go to creatives websites, check creative arts websites, things like that. So thank you so much. The next person is
Thank you,
Olumide.
Adeola.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye. But Olumide, it says your devices are not connected. So I'm sorry, I need to move on to the next person, whose name is Greater Success. Very, very interesting name. His name is Greater Success. And then we have Bernard K, Martins, and Sandra. That's all we're going to take for today. If my guest, unless my guest is still up
Good
for
evening.
more.
Good
If
evening.
you're
Good evening.
up for more, then I will post the link again. But I don't
Good
want to
evening.
wear out my guest. So the next person is Greatest Success. Please tell us where you're calling from and what your question is.
From Milan, good evening. Good evening. A quick question I want to ask. It has to do with church. Do you consider a church an investment? And number two, there is an issue that came up, and a lot of people were like, they paid their tithe in the church during the Naira redesign. They wanted their money back. So, do you consider paying your tithe into a church an investment? Like a church as a whole, it's all over Nigeria, big, big buildings. Do you consider those things an investment? How do you see so much big buildings everywhere and there is no job? Like, I wanted you to throw light on, are those things good investment, tithing in church an investment? Thank you. That's my question.
Okay, now the first thing I want to say is I've seen a lot of comments and bashing of the church online from people that do not understand what the church stands for and how the church operates. So, number one, I would say to people is whatever you don't understand, keep quiet or ask questions, because the church is both an organism and an organization. And the principles of the kingdom, the Bible says, if our gospel be hid, it is hid to those to whom the God of this world has blinded their mind. And there are a lot of people that are carnally minded that cannot understand spiritual things. And that's why we keep expecting the church to do what government is supposed to be doing. And when we have a failed government, people look up to the church and then they place the responsibility on the church that does not belong to the church. The church is not the kind of business where you are investing money for people to come and be collecting return and all those stuff. Let us understand that this is a spiritual thing. The church is both an organism and an organization. As an organism, is a living, breathing being, is a life force. But as an organization, the church is also an entity that should be run with organizational principles. And in any organization, there has to be income and there has to be expenditure. Because when you are registering a church, you are registering it with a business arm or a charity arm of your country. And there are guidelines for running an organization. Because in that organization, you're going to have staff. That's why I say to people, for you to be a pastor, you need the heart of a shepherd and the mind of a businessman. Because in the church, there will be people and there will be income. And everywhere there are people and there are income, you need to understand people management, financial management, project management, crisis management, and a lot of things. So for you to come into a church, when you come into a church, it's because you have become a citizen of the kingdom. I am presently in Nigeria. I live in Nigeria. But when I go to the UK, we don't drive on the same side of the road. I spend Naira in Nigeria. When I go to the UK, they spend pounds. When I come to Italy, you spend euro. I have an office in Verona. So listen, but I cannot now leave Nigeria now and come to Italy and be arguing that no, you people must collect Naira, you must collect Naira. That would be foolishness and unrealistic expectation. So when you become a citizen of the kingdom, tithing and giving is not for everybody. They didn't force you. It's a kingdom principle for those that believe in it and believe in God and are citizens of the kingdom. And when you are giving to the kingdom, you are giving your tithe, your offering, you are giving because you understand that both you and all your money belongs to God, and you are just a steward. And when you are bringing the tithe, you are bringing it as an acknowledgement of the fact that it is your source. And say, Lord, you gave me this 100. I'm all I have is yours. But I'm bringing this 10 to acknowledge you as my source and to acknowledge you as my God. You cannot now turn and say they should come and be refunding your money. These are carnal-minded things. These are, if you are not ready to serve God, serve devil. It's not by force that everybody must go to heaven now. There's still vacancy in hell. But don't now live your natural life and come into spiritual space and be messing up spiritual things and be muddling waters because you lack understanding. So, and then people say they build big churches. They didn't build big factories. Stop talking what people don't understand. Do you know how many, all the factories you see and all the business, do you know that it is the people that are built by the church that are building those factories? Where will the people now gather? So we need to balance all these things and stop bashing church. And I say to you, if you are listening to me right now, you are a Christian, be careful what you say about the church and how you bash the church, because the church is the last hope of the human race. Governments have failed, economics have failed. What the church is doing, the government cannot do it. And we need to honor and respect the church. The way we talk about church, talk about Jesus, talk about Holy Ghost, then born you well, make you talk about Muhammad or talk about Allah like that, they go bomb you. And you people come and talk to church anyhow, you insult men of God, you insult pastors, because God is a God of peace, and you don't understand that if you kiss somebody now that is HIV positive and you have captured HIV, there is no alarm bell that will ring that you are not HIV positive. You will not even know that something has shifted in your destiny. So many people are carrying curses upon their head that are time sensitive. They will not know until they marry and they can't give birth to a child. They won't know until nothing begins to work. So many times we are just incurring problems for ourselves that ought not to be. So let us learn wisdom, and whatever you don't understand, you keep quiet or you ask questions. God bless you. My
Thank you
sister,
so much.
God
Thank
bless
you so
you.
much.
And
Thank
greetings.
you, Adeola. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it.
All right, bye. So I'm glad that we are not talking about church today, because it's a very sensitive issue. That's and
No,
very controversial.
it's
And
just the
for those
level
that
of
may
dishonor
just
of
be
this
joining
generation.
us, sir.
I say it's just the level of dishonor of this generation, lack of understanding. And it is Christians, people that go to church, that are peddling all this nonsense. Let them go and try it with Mosque
For
or Muhammad. They
for
will
those
cut them
that
to
may
pieces.
just be joining us, he has talked extensively about tithes and how it's not a reason for you to feel like you make money just by paying tithes. So he has explained that in the past, for those that, because I see someone in the comment section saying, oh, he's here to defend tithe and offering. He has actually talked about that, how paying tithe is not going to guarantee that you make money if you don't follow the principles of how to create wealth. I'm going to let in the next person, which is Martins Odibo, and then it will be Sandra Uko. Mr. Martins, where are you calling from, and what is your question, please?
Thank you very much, my Sister Adeola. Even the way you so gentle today, the way you don't talk like Bami, Dino Milaya and all those. So today you are different. I really like that. So thank you very much, Dr. Lumide. And
Thank
I
you,
really
sir.
appreciate that I can ask a question from a pastor. By God's grace, I'm a born again Christian, and I've given a message on YouTube, Biblical Giving. But my question, I'm based in UK. I used to live in Holland, and I could have connected with that Sister Luchi, but because on internet now, you need to be very careful so that they don't use Sister Adeola website to be 419, so I don't want to share my number. Because I used to live in Holland. I had a business in Holland until 2004. I'm the owner of Blessed Auto in Holland. I used to live in Tilburg, and I'm Dutch citizen. But now I moved to UK. I live in London. I'm a qualified social worker. But I've always been in business, right from Nigeria. I've never worked for anyone in Nigeria before traveling in '89. And coming down to Holland also, while I was working, I said, this is not the reason why Christ went to Calvary, for me to be working in factory. And now I'm working as a qualified social worker at Myland Hospital. But I've always wanted to go into business. This year, I've been having passion to set up my own business. I finally set up Care of Consultancy Limited. But then I just wanted to throw light on risk management because if you set up a business, I even sold 2 of my properties in Nigeria, brought the money to UK to invest into the business. But you need time. So how do you manage? I am at the junction whereby I want to take the risk of leaving my social work job and concentrate fully, because a double-minded man, as the Bible says, so that's where I am now. And so if you can throw more light on risk management, moving from a paid job and also into a business, how do you manage the risk? Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for that. When it comes to risk management, you need to do 2 things. Number 1, calculated risk. Number 2, informed risk. That means you need to get all the information that you need to get, and then you need to do your calculation very well. So I will advise you, if you are working and you want to move into entrepreneurship, don't just abandon the job and go straight into entrepreneurship, because the business itself needs to go through its own teething period and needs to go through its own stage. So in business, in the pyramid of business, we have the formation stage, we have the growth stage, and then we have the transition stage, and then it can plateau or continue to grow. So when your business is in the growth stage, the first 5 years of the business, you need to continue to reinvest into the business until business can stabilize. Because by the time you put a lot of expenditure on the business, it's going to kill the business, and that's why over 80% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. So my advice for you would be to give yourself a time lag. So if, for instance, now you are presently working, let's say you're working 15 hours a day, and you've started a business, you are putting maybe 2-3 hours into the business on a part-time basis. You can now say, okay, for the next 1 year, I'm going to stay this way. In 2 years, I will reduce my working from 15 hours to maybe 12 hours. I will increase what I do in the business from 2 to 5. And then you keep staggering it like that until you are able to see that the business is producing some level of income that if you put in more time, it will now increase the income. And that's how you go. So it might take you a 12 to 60 months process. That's 5 years. It can take 1 year to 5 years for you to transition from paid employment completely into entrepreneurship, and you begin to do it in stages like that, until you might just be working full-time in your business and you're still working part-time, maybe 2, 3, 4 hours on the other one, or maybe just 10 hours a week or whatever, just to keep doing other things if you need to do that. So that's what I will advise you to do. Just be informed and then calculate it and give yourself time. Don't just jump out. That'll be too
Thank you
easy.
very much. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for making it short and sweet. I'm letting in the next person, but I noticed there's a lot of conversation in the comment section. Some people saying, "Why is he talking about the church like that? This is that." He's a pastor. I have said it even before bringing him. He's a pastor. Me, I expected him to say those things, but Daddy also understands that there is a reason why sometimes people say things about churches because of what some pastors have done that is absolutely not right. That's why some people have a beef with the church. And me as a
So
journalist, I'm
sorry,
one of
let me
the people that will
say
talk about
something.
whatever
Deola.
is happening. You don't have to address it. I'm just saying
No.
I
I just want to say something.
comment.
I understand you perfectly. Please let us understand. Fake is a proof of original. Every aspect of life has fake people. There are fake doctors, fake lawyer, fake musician, fake actor, fake investor, fake bat. The fact that you have experienced fake does not mean you should now throw the baby away with
Hello.
bathwater and trash everybody. Also, in this world is demand and supply. The only reason why fake continues to exist is because there are also gullible, unserious, and shallow people that are responding to that stupidity. If you are a Christian and you read your Bible, I still said it in church this morning. I say, follow me
Hey, your internet is
as I follow Christ.
okay. You are freezing. Oh, I don't know if you can hear us. Hello. Hey, is this Nigerian factor? We can't hear you. We cannot hear you. No, we can't hear you at all. Hello. Hello. Dr. Lumide. Oh, this is where you say the devil is a liar. It's a Nigerian internet. Hello, can you hear us?
I think
We
it's
can.
coming in.
Huh?
I think it's coming in. The network is bad from his side. Okay, sir.
I think it's Esther. Maybe, you see, some people are saying he should just talk about finances, that they are enjoying you in the financial aspect. Let's just focus on that. I think maybe God doesn't want you to talk about church. I think God just wants you to talk about money. That's why it's freezing like that. It's all in agreement. Say yeah. Say something. Let's see if we can hear you. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. My mother. It looks like it's you and I.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's back. I think maybe network.
Okay, now we can hear you. Say something. Dr. Lumide. Oh no, I cannot hear him.
Yeah.
If you can hear me, can you log out of your device and log
Coming.
back in?
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Can you turn off the whole thing and try to log back in with the same link that I sent to you?
Let me call him and tell him.
My mother, were you on the show before?
No, I have been on the show since it started.
Why are
He
you
sent me
back
the link.
now? Why
No,
are you
he sent me
taking
the
the
link.
other?
I was actually.
No.
I'm sorry.
You should not take somebody else's place.
Okay,
It's
you can
not
put me
fair
back. No, I'll go out. I'll
now.
go
Hey,
out.
please,
But
no.
he said I should connect with you. I don't know how we can connect. I sent you my email.
Oh,
Pastor
okay.
Lumide said I should
And
connect with
I
you.
can also get your contact from him as soon as we're done.
Yes, so that we can talk because he has another show coming up in May.
Okay.
So he needs help from you. So he said I should speak with you.
Okay,
So let
ma.
me go off so that other people can
All
ask a question.
right. Thank
Bye.
you.
So he needs help from you.
Dr. Olumide, can you hear us?
Bye.
Financial Paul YouTube. I think you're watching us somewhere else. So the audio is overlapping. If you can stop the one that you're watching. Hello? Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. We're just waiting for our guests. Thank you so much, guys, for being so
Okay.
patient. I am so grateful to every one of you. Um, thank you for the. I'm seeing a lot of nice comments. Adeola always bring great speakers. Yes, my people. I go a long way for you guys. Any length. So, okay, let's see if he can join us again. I
Wow.
sent him the link. And I'm trying to see. Please click the link one more time, sir. Oh, this has been. Oh, I think he's back.
Wow.
Hello, sir.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, we can hear him. Okay, real quick, what's your question, my brother, so that he can just so we can write up.
Okay. Thank you so much. This financial for one of the mentee of Dr. Lumide Emmanuel. Let's say like 6, 7 years ago, and your teachings is the starting point of my financial freedom journey. So also with Sandra, I'll be having a show with Dr. Lumide
Hello, what's the
Emmanuel.
question?
Yeah, my question is, I'm in the real estate space, and I know, sir, that you are a guru in the real estate industry. Now, why you started in the real estate space? How were you able? Oh, it's not online. Hello, sir.
Network.
Yeah. Can you hear
So
me now,
what's your
sir?
question?
Yes.
I can. What's your question?
My question is, while you kicked off real estate, the real estate space, and in the real estate field, how are you able to? Because most of the time, most of the issue you have is what's it called, cash flow issue, money issue. You have little money chasing much projects. How can somebody position itself as a company to be highly liquid as a real estate organization, instead of you facing the problem of, let's say, liquidity problem while you are achieving some projects?
Okay, well, that means you are talking as a real estate company.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, well, in the real estate, there are 4 areas you can play in. You can operate as a regulator, you can operate as a realtor, you can operate
Yes,
as
sir.
a developer, and you can operate as an investor. And then when you go into the real estate business itself, you also need to choose which area of the real estate you want to play in. And one of the things you need to learn to understand is what we call cash flow management. So it means that I'm hosting a real estate conference in July. It's called the Global Real Estate Executive Boot Camp. It's a 7 days fully residential event at the Sheraton Hotel. If you go to my website, you get more details about that. And those are some of the things we're going to be letting people learn. It's called cash flow management. It means that as money begins to come, you need to understand your overhead and you need to understand how to manage your cash flow in such a way that you don't over invest in fixed assets or in capital projects without having the cash flow to run the business, because cash flow is the lifeblood of any business. Even a profitable business can go bankrupt when there is no cash flow. So what you really need is cash flow management. Then you need to do your calculation to know what your overhead will be, what your running costs, your salaries will be. You need to look at all the projects you have and to have the financial outlay of what it will cost to be able to run each of the projects on a monthly basis. You look at that vis-a-vis your income cash flow, and then you have a reserve to be able to undo eventuality. So it's simply a cash flow management principle that you need to apply. And there are a lot of technicalities to it, but the bottom line is never spend everything that comes, never spend it all. Make sure you have enough cash flowing to be able to handle the different aspects of the business. Thank you.
Okay.
And you can
Thank
go
you
to
so
the
much.
website and learn more about the grip. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Bernie Anagbao. So please, you're next. Tell us where you're calling from and what your question is. And please unmute yourself. Okay, you're unmuted.
Okay, thank you so much, Jola. Good evening.
Good
I'm
evening.
speaking from Turkey.
Okay.
Good evening, sir, Mr. Olumide Emmanuel.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to be here. So my question is, when you talked about savings,
Yeah.
I wanted to know, like, in Nigeria, like, there is this kind of savings that you do with some insurance companies, in the sense that the insurance companies, they take, they have what they call money markets, they have discovery, all those kind of little investments, but it's in form of savings. So I'm thinking, do you think, and my question is, do you think that kind of savings is better than just putting your money in a bank, just leaving it, for the opportunities, just like you said, or for eventualities? So that's just my question.
Okay, well, if I'm to answer your question directly, I would say yes, it is better than putting your money in the bank if the insurance company is a credible insurance company that has a track record. But if you're asking
Yes.
if there are better ways to invest your money, then I would say also yes, there are better ways to invest your money than doing it the way you are doing it. But if you are comparing that to the bank, it is better than putting your money in the bank. If it's better
Okay.
than leaving your money in the bank. But if you're talking
Is
of
actually
better
based on
ways,
savings.
come again.
Is that I'm actually asking based on savings? Is a form of savings,
And
because
that's not yeah, it's a form of savings, and it's better
yes.
than putting your money in the bank.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Okay.
in answering your question directly, yes, it's better than putting your money in the bank.
Okay. That's it. Thank you very much. Okay, another thing is that you talked about having agencies in some countries, but I'm thinking if I could also work with you as your agent, here in Turkey, for your books and for your products. So it's a kind of
Okay,
proposal.
send us an email and we'll get to know you and we'll look into it, and you go through there's a process we need to go through because of integrity. We also need to do some due diligence and be sure that so you can just send us an email overseer@gmail.com. OUROVERSEER@gmail.com, our overseer@gmail.com. And then or
Okay.
you go to my social media platform at Olumid Emmanuel on Instagram and Twitter. So you can follow me and then you can private chat me, and then my office will look at it and take you through the process. And on Facebook is olumide.emmanuel. Thank you.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Thank you
so
so
if
much. Thank you, Joy, for
anybody,
the opportunity.
yeah, you're welcome, Bernie. Is if anybody is trying to contact you, sir, is it the same email? If anybody is
Yeah,
trying to email you,
anyone that wants to reach me, my email is our overseer. That's it, our overseer at gmail.com. That's
is
my
the,
email.
is the
That's
spelling correct?
yeah, it's our overseer. That's O. That's O, not zero. So it's correct. Yeah, our
Okay.
overseer.
So if
All
anybody
yeah.
would like to email him, first of all, please find him on Instagram and all social media platforms. Follow him if you have not been following him. And then you can email him through this. And we've already put up his website as well. Um, what's your website again? I just
Olumideemmanuel.org.
Yes, it's last name first. OlumideEmmanuel.org. That's his website.
Yeah.
And finally, we've come to the last person on queue. That is Martins Odigbo. No, actually, Mr. Martins went already. I think he just did not leave the studio. You went already, my father.
Yeah, he went
Oh,
already. Yeah.
Daddy, are you able to take any more guests or not? Because I have taken your time. It's
Do we
already
still
one and a
have
half
more? Do
hours.
we still
So,
have more people?
is there anybody else interested in asking him a question? Okay. Oh, Mr. Martins came back. Mr. Martins, you've already asked your question. I don't think we should keep going. You're starting to get tired, and we should let you rest. It's been an 1.5 hours already. But I can ask one last question. Oh God. From everything that you have said, it looks like it sounds like anybody can actually learn how to be wealthy. Because sometimes I hear people say some people were it's God's doing, I'm well alone. And some people were made to be wealthy, or it's just that some people had opportunity or they were fortunate. Maybe their parents were well to do, they didn't have to depend on them. And some people were just made not to make money. That would be my last question. When people say things like this to you, and I've also seen a situation where somebody said it's not about how hard you work, it's just the favor of God. Some people work harder than you do, and they are still not as rich. So they sort of leave everything in God's hands. When people say things like this, how do you respond to them? That would be our last question.
Well, one of the things we need to understand is that an object will remain stagnant until a force is applied. Your life will remain the same way it is until you do something meaningful about it. And if it's going to be, it's up to you. There are people that are born to rich parents and their parents disown them. There are people born to rich parents and their parents die and they become orphans. There are people that are born to poor parents and they become rich. You need to understand that at the end of the day, your destiny is in your hand. Principles are universal, like I said at the beginning, but the application is personal, contextual, and geographical. If you are ready to pay the price, anybody can become anything they want to become if they are ready to pay the price. Life is governed by principles. Principles makes life predictable. If you apply the principle anywhere in the world, it will work for you. It's just for you to be willing to apply the principle and then to stick to the plan, because all this ori and get rich quick scheme is not going to help us. You have to stick to the plan and be patient to see it produce. If you plant corn in few months, you are going to get an harvest. But if you plant apple or orange, you have to wait for a few years. If you are a chicken and you are pregnant, your delivery gestation period is different from that of a dog that is pregnant. And if you are a dog and you are pregnant, your gestation period is different from that of an elephant. A dog will give birth within 6 months, an elephant will carry pregnancy for 2 years. So you need to understand that while the principles are universal for different aspects of life and for different things that you do, they have different gestation period. If you want a corn destiny, you want fast, ozugbo, ozugbo. But if you want a destiny that will continue to produce, then you must be willing to build it over time so that it will also take you through your lifetime. So don't ever believe that, oh, it's because I'm born this way. There is nobody that is destined to fail. Everybody was created by God, and the Creator never created anybody to fail. So you are not created to be a failure, but you have to do what you need to do in order for you to become what you need to become. And I hope that we'll all make our own life and our financial education, our financial plan, our financial, we'll make it a project and be committed to our life, because the journey of 1,000 miles does not begin with a step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step that is taken. And until you take that step, you will not arrive at your destination, because 1,000 good intentions are not as powerful as one action. So my advice would be all the things you have heard today, go back to Adeola's YouTube channel. follow me on my own social media platform. You see a lot of things. Get the School of Money book and read and practice. And before you know it, 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you'll be amazed that it's not as difficult as you think if you are willing to pay the price.
Thank you so much, sir. I was just about to say that please, some people are thanking me for bringing you on the show. All that doesn't really matter. What matters to me is that a year from now, April 2024, please don't remain where you are after all that you have heard today. Please and please, whatever you have to do not remain where you are today. There has to be something that you can use from everything that he has shared today. Now, as we round up, please let people know about other learning opportunities that you have coming up that they can take advantage of. I believe you have like a conference coming up in Nigeria, and I know you travel to different parts of the world as well. Let people hear about it.
Okay, well, presently I'm back home, and we're going to be doing a lot of Insta Live sessions. So apart from what I'm doing today now, so if you follow me on Instagram at Olumid Emmanuel, all through the month of May, I'm going to be doing a lot of Insta Live sessions. But I have a major conference coming up in July. It's called the Global Real Estate Executive Bootcamp. I've been in the real estate industry now for about 26 years. I've been privileged to have raised a lot of practitioners in the industry that are doing billions in turnover and doing amazingly well. Many of the major players in the industry that a lot of people know are people that I trained and mentored, and they are doing well. And we all have a story to share. So in the month of July, from Monday the 3rd to Sunday the 9th of July, for 7 days, we're going to be hosting that Global Real Estate Executive Bootcamp. It's 7 days, fully residential, at the Sheraton Hotel and Towers, Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. And I'm going to be having about 28 different speakers. And you had Grace Ofure yesterday. She's going to be one of our speakers. She's an amazing woman of integrity, an amazing, kingdom citizen that is doing an amazing work in the real estate space. You've had Sujimoto also on this platform. He's also going to be one of our speakers. So I have a lot of all these guys. And I send the brochure to you so they can go to my platform and see the brochure. Now, the event is 7.5 million per person, and for the 7 days fully residential, it covers for the hotel bill, it covers for feeding and everything, covers for the entire lecture. We're going to be giving you about 1.5 million naira worth of product that are manuals, the Lagos 30-year plan, the master plan for Abuja and different locations. We're going to give that to you. You're going to be connected also to 1 year mentorship. So I'm going to be mentoring you for 1 year after the event. And for everyone that comes, we're also going to be giving you access to over 100 million naira worth of inventory of land and houses that you can also go and sell, make money, and then recover your money back. And next month, which is May, starting tomorrow, my birthday is on the 20th of May. And tomorrow, I'm bringing back the 50% discounts. So for 20 days, so between the 1st of May to the 20th of May, anyone that wants to be a part of that, your money will no more be 7.5 million. It will be 3,750,000 naira. So that's 50% discount for payment within the next 20 days. If you don't have the complete payment, if you make a minimum of 1 million naira deposit, we'll still accommodate you, reserve your slot, and you can balance up in June before the event. If you are coming from anywhere in the world, we already have 6 people coming from America. We have 4 people coming from the UK. We have 3 people coming from Qatar. So people are coming from all over the world. So if you are coming from outside Nigeria, you can come in on Sunday the 2nd. There is no additional cost. Just let us know, and they will pick you at the airport and take you to the hotel. And so if you want to be a part of that, you can go to the website www.olumideemmanuel.org/GREEB, GREEB, GREEB. And then you're going to see the brochure, you're going to see the link, you register, they'll tell you how to make payments, and then you can send us an email at ouroverseer@gmail.com, and then we'll take you from there. It's an opportunity that you cannot afford to miss. I can guarantee you all our projects and products are money back guarantee. I'm speaking on a global platform now. So if you pay that money, you come for that 7 days, and at the end of the 7 days, you consider it a waste of your time, your money will be refunded totally to you before you leave that venue. So all our programs, all our products, if you buy my book, it's money back guarantee. If you come for my conference, it's money back guarantee. because we are sure of what we do and we have result to show for it. So if you are listening to me right now, you want to be an investor, you want to be a business, you want to go into real estate investment or real estate business as a realtor, a developer, anything you want to do, just come. This is the best place to be. It's something that has never happened before, and it's an opportunity that I believe everybody should take advantage of. So I look forward to seeing those of you that are ready to take advantage of this opportunity within the next 20 days. Thank you, Adeola.
Thank you so much. Real quick, I saw a comment that I just wanted to read. This is from Owen. He said, at the same time, money isn't the purpose for living or everything in life either. Money ain't the answer to purpose for living. So we do understand that. It's just that money makes it easier for you to achieve your purpose for living, whatever your purpose is. Money makes it easier, and it's more honorable not to borrow to fulfill your purpose if you can learn how to come up with the money yourself. That's why we're doing this. But again, it's not for everybody, it's for
So
whoever is.
can I also give him an answer?
Yeah, sure.
Money is a tool for the fulfillment of your purpose.
Exactly.
That's all. It's a tool for the so whatever your purpose is, you need money to fulfill it. If your purpose is to serve God, you need money to buy Bible and transport yourself to church. If your purpose is to evangelize, you need money to dress so that you will not go naked for evangelism. If your purpose is to feed the poor, you need money to feed the poor. If your purpose, whatever your purpose is, money is what God gives you to fulfill that purpose. So money is not your purpose, but you need money to fulfill whatever purpose it is. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much once again. I have one last question, sir. I'm so sorry. I
No
just
problem.
you've said it several times that nobody gets rich on a salary basis. And just as we round up, there are people that will tell you that they function better under a structured company as an employee, that they don't know anything about business, they don't want to get into business, they like being told what to do, and they get promotion and stuff like that. So, but from what you have said, it's not just about starting a business. You can be a salary earner, but you can also be investing your salary. Just to be clear for people
Okay, so
to.
let me help people to understand this. So listen and listen well. You can never, and I repeat, never become rich and wealthy with salary alone. But the fact that you are a salary earner, if you want to become rich, then you need to add investment to it. Everybody cannot be an entrepreneur, but everybody must be an investor. So if you are a salary earner, develop investment mentality and start investing. So I have a module that is called How to Create Wealth as a Career Person. And I give people the 8 steps to create wealth as a career person. And so I can maybe let me just run through that. Number 1 is start early. Start early. Number 2 is give it all it takes. Number 3 is get all the certification. Number 4 is network strategically. Number 5 is save heavily. Number 6 is invest heavily. Number 7 is activate multiple streams. Number 8 is observe covenant obligation, because you are either in the secret cult or you are in the secret place. There is no middle ground. So if you are a salary earner, you can become wealthy if you add investments to your salary. Everybody does not need to be an entrepreneur. But as a salary earner, if you start saving between 10 to 20% of your income over a period of time, you can continue to work, and that money can be put into an investment that will continue to work for you. And then you can begin to have multiple streams of income through multiple investments. And that added to your salary can help you to create wealth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. For those asking when Ness is coming to the US, please go on his website. You would find all those details.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
I'll be lost, and I'm doing another 6 cities. So I'm going to be in New York. I'm going to be in New Jersey. I'm going to be in Maryland. I'm going to be in Atlanta. I'm going to be in Houston, and I'm going to be in Dallas.
When?
So I'm going to 6 cities in the US in August. So follow me on social. The best thing is my Instagram. Just follow me on Instagram. All the adverts will be there once we settle venues and the dates. Everything will be on my Instagram.
Okay, so in August he'll be back in the US, and if you follow him on Instagram, his Instagram handle is what I just typed. You'll be able to know when he will be in a city near you or in your city. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your time today. We've had you for 2 hours. It's been an eye-opening session. This will be on YouTube for those that did not join us at the beginning. And I'll make sure to cut out like different aspects of it as well to upload on YouTube. Thank you once again so much. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
God bless you. Take care of yourself. Bye for now.
All
Bye.
right, bye. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. I really appreciate having you. And please do not forget that next Sunday we'll be having a Nigerian woman who was working as an attorney for Shell, not just as an attorney, she was working for Shell Oil Company, making good money. And this woman quit her job to start a restaurant in the heart of New York City. So we'll be learning so much from her. You get to ask her all kinds of questions. Especially how she was able to get into that business. So if you have a full-time job, for example, but you have a passion for something else, please and please, you don't want to miss that. Also, if it looks like your parents are trying to force you to study something, but that's not what you're passionate about, but you did it anyways, does that mean you have to be stuck with that profession all your life? So please make sure that you join me and Folusho Salami, the owner of Dundu Restaurant in New York, next Sunday, the same time. It's 8 p.m. Nigerian time and 3 p.m. New York time. All right. Until next Sunday, I'll see you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.